just for the first few words, because I want to start and just say hello and just let you know also who we are. So I'm Sabrina. I'm from Germany, a German citizen with the Italian soul, and I'm honored to represent W3FF, and I'm super happy to have Ali Mubarak at my side, Al Sabr. So you will also give some sentences about yourself in a moment. But I just want to mention that we, as W3FF, we are from Germany. We are a German venture builder, and we see ourselves as a bridge because we operate in Saudi Arabia. So, and we want to be also a bridge between the cultures and between innovation ecosystems, and maybe also between the way how Europe builds and the way how Saudi Arabia is accelerating, and the talents and the motivation that that exist here. We want to develop these ventures that combine all the Saudi talents, and we want to bring also people from our network, from Europe and from the DACH region, from Germany, to collaborate. We have also as a focus Web3, digital identity, so trust technology. And for the hackathon, for this hackathon, because we already did a first one in January, it's about identity. So as a trust layer, trust technology, banking, and gaming. So these are the topics for this hackathon. And we are really happy to have you here. This is a start of our journey. So it's just a starting point. We don't hack yet, but it's now 2 months of a virtual phase. We do more of these webinars, learning sessions, just to inspire, but also to already start to creating teams. And then we have the hacking, the real phase in February. We do that in person in Riyadh at Al Yamama University, but also hybrid. So we offer also online contribution and collaboration. Yeah, and it's really an invitation to collaborate. And with that, I just hand over to Ali. Please introduce yourself. You are an innovation leader and very experienced hackathon, let's say, expert. Maybe a short
Thank you.
introduction from your side before we continue.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. And first, I'm honored that a company like yours from Germany and with their knowledge will come and request from someone like me to join them to talk about hackathons. In short, I was exposed to the world of hackathons around 2011, 2012. Okay, and I worked with big corporations outside of Saudi Arabia. And then with this knowledge, I came back to Saudi in 2017. And since then, always working in hackathon with big names. The last one was last week with the Ministry of Health. And this week we have 2 hackathons that we are organizing. And to us, hackathons, it's a place that the teams will squeeze the knowledge that they will receive in 3 months and beyond in just 2 days, 3 days. So they will work with teams, they will work with the deadlines, the requests. So all of that will help them really get real time or real life experiences in short time. And that's why always emphasizes in hackathons that please try your best to learn as much as you can, to meet different-minded people and to gain from them whatever experience they have and give them whatever experience you have. So in general, I find myself in hackathons as a giver and as a taker in the same time. I teach people and I learn from people, and I'm happy that always people remember after years and come and say, thank you, Ali, for that thing that you said in that hackathon. Our mentality change, our perspective about life and work change. And that's what make me go on and love hackathons in general.
Thank you so much, Ali. And actually, we are honored that you are supporting us and already supported us in a very nice way already in January for our first hackathon. And yeah, that was great. The support. It was the first time for us, so it was good to have someone who is already experienced in the ecosystem. Also who spoke Arabic, etc. So yeah, that's super nice. So we are honored to have you here,
Thank you.
and we would like to, yeah, just talk a little bit about how, let's say, what we expect from you in the hackathon. And then we get started also how you can make the best out of the hackathon. So first of
Okay.
all, let me maybe start with the yeah, maybe the hard facts. So the hackathon is a 3-day hackathon. It's hybrid. It's in person in Riyadh, beginning of February. We will share the dates very soon. Um, we allow for online collaboration, but we want the teams so that each team has at least one or two person in Riyadh with us. So it would be a little bit complicated if all the teams, are online. But we want to cater for and allow for these online collaboration. So this is one thing. So we have 3 days in February. And the phase that we start now, that we already started with our kickoff event on Saturday, but which we also start now, it's a virtual phase. We will have these kind of webinars where we share information. Today, it's purely about how to make the best out of the hackathon. We will have in the future also more about technology, for example, also about our online tool that we are using to collaborate. There will be an online whiteboard that we use to make the best out of this asynchronous collaboration, but also, when you're synchronous and you are in different locations. There will be more, technology and also about how to make a good pitch, what is a good go-to-market concept, how you create some blueprints. We will share some concepts about that. So this is all about gaining more knowledge, informing, while we also will have some interactions. We have a WhatsApp group. We will have interactions and try to form teams already. So you can already form teams. It's not that you start working now. If you want, you can do that. But it's about, already get to know each other. We all want to become friends from now on, so that when we start, we know each other, we trust each other, and we don't lose any time to just get it started. So actually, this is the plan why we have this, let's say, a little bit virtual phase and then a hybrid hackathon. So that might be a little bit confusing, but this is actually what is behind. So we just want to give us more time to prepare so that we don't lose time, that we are really effective when we are in the location on the ground hacking. So these are some facts. I want to share more facts about the topic. So the topic that we have, our tracks are identity, Web3, let's say trust technology. So everywhere where you need trust, and banking is one of these fields, one of these sectors. Then we have banking and gaming. So why we are doing that? So the intention is, with these different topics, and we also want to have another track, which is civil trust. So that's all about community building. So we want to have these tracks to combine them. So we don't want a fintech startup coming and continue working on their tech stack. We want to make everyone thinking out of the box, so that we have that we, for example, combine gaming and banking. So how can you combine it maybe to have um, uh, a game that helps you to gain financial literacy in the metaverse, or 24/7 banking application or a spot in the metaverse that gives you all kinds of information whenever you need it. There can be also some gamified financial application that can be also a proper payment application that is just much different because you have, different limitations, different inspirations here in our hackathon. So that in a nutshell, this is the topic that we are talking about. We have a hackathon platform where you will find ideas, where you will find challenges. So also we will have more challenges and ideas throughout. I think there might be already one or two, but there will be more throughout the next few days and weeks. So you can come and see, just check out what ideas there are. You can submit an own idea if you have one, but you can also take whatever is there. You can see if there are already teams. You can join a team. You can create your own team. But the best is you can just start talking to us and we will help you. We as organizers, that is also Ali, there are other mentors, and we will facilitate that to make the hackathon the best experience. So I think these are some of the facts that I can share, and maybe we can start with the first point that we kind of already outlined: how to maximize your limited hackathon time. Because 3 days of a hackathon, we have this prep phase, this virtual phase, but when you are with your team together, there's a very dense time. It's very intense. 3 days, but there's only 2 days of real work. And then you already start preparing your pitch, and then you will pitch. So I would say it's around 2 days of pure working. So how can you make the best out of this time? And maybe Ali, you want to just share something about
Yeah.
that?
You're generous saying it's 2 days. Normally, what we say it's maximum 1 day and a half, because truly there's some workshops in sometimes inside the hackathon that people will join, okay, to learn something, even about how to pitch, okay. But if we focus on the limited time, okay, we always advise saying, please spend, let's say, 30% of the time really understanding the challenge or the problem that you are solving. Even if you thought about it before the hackathon, try to go through it again with the mentors, with the experts, with the people around you. Try to visit it again. Because one of the main things to make you have a good presentation, which is the end result, or a good MVP, is observing the challenge, observing the problem, understanding who you are solving this problem for. If you just want to solve something that you don't totally understand, you're going to face challenges from the judges. So the first thing to have advantage of being there, okay, is to ask the people around you, let's go through the problem again. Let's visit it and absorb it more and more, even if it take half of the time. Sorry. And then when you observe the challenge, okay, try to revisit, okay, the ideal customer or the ideal client or the user. Who are they? Try to understand them, to have the personas for them. Some people say, well, we don't have for that time for that. We only want to code. We only want to make slides. Trust me, it's the same thing that we always say in normal life. You have to make the whole phases and give each phase the right amount of time. You have to do the discovery phase until the delivery phase. all of it, you have to give it its time. So 1 day and a half, maximum 2 days, you have to start with understanding the challenge, absorbing it, understanding who are you are solving this challenge for. You mentioned saying, what if you're gonna have a gamified solution to help you be more literate in finance, the financial literacy inside the metaverse. Okay, so who's your customers? Is your customers they're in their 20s? Are they in their 50s? So you're gonna focus on who in the beginning. You cannot focus on all of them, okay? Especially in the limited time. So you have to choose your ideal customer in the hackathon. You have to give them personas saying, this lady, she is 39 and she's working in as a teacher. How can I help her achieve financial literacy by doing this and that? So this is how we look at it, especially the first day. Then comes the solution. When you truly observe it, the problem, the challenge, when you truly observe who you are solving it for, then the solution will be easier because now you're going to cut some of the features that you don't need to show it in the hackathon because you have also limited time in presenting or pitching to the judges. In the last hackathon last week, we told people 3 minutes to pitch and 2 minutes to be judged, okay, to have questions, okay? But we might change it. So always plan for maximum 2 minutes of pitch. And this is what happened. In the final day, we told them, guys, you only have 2 minutes, not 3 minutes. Some of the teams got upset, but some teams said, yeah, it's okay, we are ready. Okay, and I give this example always, and you know it also, the elevator pitch, which is it's a 1 minute pitch. If people can understand exactly what you want in 1 minute, then your solution is mature. If you don't have a mature solution, then you're gonna babble all over it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and no one will understand you. But if your solution is matured, you're needing 1 minute if it's an elevator pitch, 2 minutes to 3 minutes for a full pitch for a hackathon. And that's how you maximize your limited hackathon time.
Amazing. That's so true. And I think there's also more that we will share in the hackathon as best practices, or how you also frame a compelling story and how you hook the audience or the judges, to make them clear, here is a real problem. So you have the user in front of you, but what is their real problem? You also have to make the judges feel that problem, that it's a real problem. And we will help you with that. So we will also give you support within the hackathon.
Exactly.
When it comes, what you also mentioned, understanding the problem. This is, I think, one of the biggest problems in general when it comes to people have to solve a challenge, because they usually jump directly to a solution and then they only start discussing, oh, should we solve it like this or should we solve it like that? So I think this time, just the learning from last time, because we cannot expect that everyone has already experienced. But I think, Ali, what we could do is giving them some sort of a workshop experience, that we give them some sort of a framework that they have to go through. And then they can deepen it, or they can go over it a little bit faster, but so that they at least have some sort of a framework to think about the problem. And we will also nudge them and tell them, okay, think about the problem. Think about who has that problem and how important is this problem. Maybe it's a different problem. Maybe you need to solve it on another level. So I think this is something we will still think about, how we do that in the best possible way, not to bring everyone to a workshop at the same time, not to make it too boring, but to give at least a framework so that they don't jump directly to solution. This is what I usually experience and what is a bit tricky. Because if you are focusing too much on the solution and you might already have some sort of an idea how it should look like, then you might also go into the wrong direction. So we want to keep it also agile in a way that you might, within the first day, understanding the problem, you might even pivot when you are thinking about solution. So it might be also that you have an idea and you start drafting around the idea solution, but then you realize, oh, maybe it's not if we also challenge that, that you might even pivot within the short amount of time. This is always okay. It's always okay to say, oh, it might not be the best idea. Let's change it. It's better than just
Okay.
continue with something where you are not totally convinced. So I think
Yeah.
we will give some sort of a framework for that as well. And
And I
yeah.
would add that to get to the point after it, it will help in understanding the problem and absorbing the problem. If you have your team around you, which is the second point, which is how to build a strong functional team, is to have different backgrounds. So if all the teams are like coders, developers, or if they are experts in the domain, okay, let's say gaming, okay, they all from the gaming, they will only look at the problem from one perspective. So one of the things that we can say to you to understand a problem, also you have to have empathy to the user, to understand, to be in their shoes. Okay. So if you can't, maybe one of your team can, and they can explain it to you. So we always advise, try to gather a team that are have various experiences. Let's say someone is good with sales, someone is good with developing or coding, someone is good with designing. So this will give you more chance to win. If you say, well, we are student, I said, yes, okay, you are students, but you can also have your hobby. Let's say you're a student in architect, so you can be good also in a little bit in designing or understand designing. You can be good in marketing and at least understand a little bit about marketing. So all of these little things, it can make a difference in the team. And always remember that a hackathon is just a step. Let's imagine if you want to really establish this company, what are the roles that you'll need? If you are three, if you are four as a team, so who gonna be the CEO? Who gonna be the CTO? Who's gonna be the CFO? You have to establish from that and understand, okay, who we are missing. If we all CEOs, you cannot do it. Okay. I always say this
Mm.
to people. Are you a Steve Jobs or a Steve Wozniak? Because without Steve Wozniak, there's no Steve Jobs. And without Steve Jobs, there is no Steve Wozniak. Apple is not one guy. Okay, the face of Apple is Steve Jobs. But behind the scenes, there's a team. Okay, there's more than one person.
Mm.
So always in teams, to build a very strong team, okay, you should have different roles in the team. And this will also not only will help you understand the problems because you are from different backgrounds. It will help you also to save the time, because if each one have a role, and get back to the first point, each one have a role. Say my role is to do the research, your role is to do the design, your role is to do the coding. So each one of us, that means we'll save more time and we can finish the MVP or the solution or the presentation before anyone else. And that's
Mm.
why we always emphasize on it. I like to say, guys, when you come to a hackathon and I see you sitting down and starting immediately to code, I understand you're gonna fail. You have to take it slow,
Yeah.
say, okay, what's the problem? Understand it, and then absorb it, then plan and say, okay, what's your role? What's my role? And put the roles, then execute.
Mm.
This is the summary of the first 2 points that we have. Okay, this is how you're gonna save time, and this is how you're gonna have a good team and both of them are interconnected. All of the points that we're going to talk about today is all interconnected. So you have
Mm.
to always understand that, hey, it's not just, a picnic. You're coming to a hackathon. No, there's competition. There's other teams that want to win. So you have to say, okay, how am I going to win if they want going to win? They are competing with us. So you have to, as I said, and I emphasize on observe the problem, and then know the roles of the team. Then you execute.
I also would like to add, because you mentioned the diversity in the teams, which is super, super important and which we will also take care of that it will happen. So we might then also change people, switch people from a team to another team. But why it's also important is to understand the challenge in the beginning. So everyone is looking at a problem from a different angle. And if you are doing that together and you are discussing the challenge and you are thinking about the challenge, then everyone has a different perspective to provide and will help to understand it better in a more complex way. So this is also super important. And everyone is important in a team. And when it comes to code, I would like to emphasize that a coder should, everyone who can code should be prepared not to code. We might provide a tech stack, but the most important thing is to create innovation, and you cannot start that with coding. Maybe you can add a piece of code in the end, but in any way, we would suggest to use vibe coding or to use no code tools if you want to prepare something. But it's also okay to come with a pitch deck, with an idea. So there is some technicality involved as well. So we don't want you to tell us we build a rocket and we fly to the moon. So somehow we will figure that out on the way. We want to have some sort of an idea that you understand the technology, that you would be able, to either do it yourself, how someone who can do it. So there need to be some sort of reality involved, but you don't need to do it in because it's just we don't expect that just from the time. For us, it's more important that we will create innovation that is culturally adapted, that will work within Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. And this will lead, because we said expect that maybe you won't code or there is less coding. It depends on how we're gonna organize it. Because in the end of the day, when you sit in front or stand in front of the judges, they're gonna see your presentation, they're gonna see your pitch. Okay. And part of it is maybe the code or the screenshots from your WhatsApp website or solution. Okay. But mostly it's about the pitch. So when you mentioned in the beginning, when you say the hook, how to make people really do something that will hook the judges and the people around them. And this is as I mentioned just earlier, understand the challenge, then doing the roles, then execution to lead you to the pitch. Because the pitch, it's the most important thing now. Because in the end, you're gonna win or you're gonna lose depends on your way of explaining why you do observe the challenge or the problem and why your solution or idea is the best. How you're gonna convey that is by the pitch. That's always said, guys, build the story. It's always about the storytelling. It's always about knowing when you stand, what things to say and what things don't say it. Respect that the judges know a lot of things that you might say. Don't say, you go here, then you write your username. They know that you have to sign up. They know. Okay, so don't waste time with things like this. Go directly to the solution and explain it. So for your reading and research, and maybe this is something also we might share with you either in the hackathon or before the hackathon, there is many ways to pitch. Okay, there is no one way to fits all. There is the 10 slides for Guy Kawasaki, the ex-Apple employee that worked with Steve Jobs. There is the Sequoia Capital sustainable business points. There is the business canvas. You can use what's in the business canvas as a pitch deck, which are, I love them always. I say, even if you don't use them, you have to finalize them. It will help you in your pitch. We'll go through it very fast. We always say, what's the value you're going to provide? For who this value? And where are these people that you want to provide the value for? Are they found inside the mall, or are they found in the social media, or are they on watching TV station? So it's very important to know where are they. And then we say, if you find them and get their interest, how are you going to keep them? Then all of this, what's your actions that will provide the value to these people? What's the actions that you're going to do? Are you going to manufacture something? Are you going to program something? Are you going to market something? So what's the key actions that you do? And what are the key resources that you need to do the actions? And who are the key partners that you're going to need? If you are going to provide, let's say, a product, are you the one who's going to deliver it, or you're going to make a deal with the delivery company? You have to understand what's your activities and what's the other people activity or the other company's activities. Then we say, where the money you're going to spend? You're going to spend it on what? Is it salaries? Is it rent? Is it developing the system? Is it marketing? So you have to understand it. Then lastly, from where you're going to bring the money? What's your business model? What's your income? From where? Is it subscription based? Is it capital gain? Is it rent? When you observe all of that, I'm pretty sure you're going to do a very good pitch. You can pitch it, and the judges will see that you understand the concept and the solution that you are providing for the problem that you are already observed, and you have the right team with the right role to execute all of that. So it's all connected together, like a beautiful Lego set, everything in its place. Always remember that. It's not just a picnic. It's a life lesson. Hackathons is a life lesson. And one of the attendees here, like Mr. Dr. Ibrahim, he said, think sometimes in some hackathons, he don't see them as he wishes. Okay. And maybe that's one of the reasons that people go there and they don't know. They say, hey, we have a solution. Yeah, you have a solution for what? He said, you have a challenge. I said, yeah, but have you understand the challenge? Have you observed the challenge? Do you have the right team to execute the challenge? So all of that, it's come together, all of that to make you prepared. When you pitch the right way, you have a story to tell. You mentioned Sabrina before, you said, you understand the customer when you say that you understand their problem. Okay. And always I say, why don't you start with a story saying, do you know Muhammad? Muhammad in his 20, he just got fired from his job. So now you are hooking the judges to this guy, Muhammad. So when you start with this, then when you mentioned Muhammad and he have a problem, he was out of his job, then you said, and like Muhammad, there is 30% of new graduates don't stay in a job after 3 years. So you give a number. So this is, you see, how you take them. So when the judges listen to you, wow, you already hook them and tell them a number, you win them. Then you tell them, and we have the solution. The solution is like this and like that and like that. With this, you'll know that you're done in 1 minute. Then you're going to describe the features of the solution. You're going to describe the team. You're going to describe their marketing. If we request for how you're going to penetrate the market, you're going to explain the TAM, the SAM, the sum, and we're going to like send it to you, or you can research it yourself. What is the TAM? What is the SAM? What is the sum in the marketing? So all of that, again and again, I emphasize hackathons are a good place to be if you really want to have a 3 months or 10 months or even a year experience in only 3 days.
That is a great conclusion of why you should attend a hackathon, but maybe also specifically our hackathon as a way to also connect with a lot of great people, with a lot of great mentors and leaders in the space, learning from not only your peers, but also from experts in the space, and uh, having real challenges as well, because we want to properly solve and not just doing something, just making something up and doing something for fun. We want to solve real challenges in Saudi Arabia, and bridge also the ecosystems. I just want to emphasize that again, because for me, that is super important to bring also people from different ecosystems like Europe and our network together, because only in a collaborative way we can solve the challenges that we have right now, and also bringing very diverse perspectives together. And maybe there's one point I want to touch upon that point as well. So how we can validate the idea quickly. So you can also go the extra mile. Ali, you already mentioned that you can research about statistics, about numbers. You can research about a lot of things in the internet. You might also be able to research some of the problems, how many people have these problems. You could even go with, let's say, talk to some people. This is a bit tricky, but you can try to evaluate your solution. Just go the extra mile. And if you come to the judges and you can tell them, and we already validated with 5 people from X, or we did, even if you did it in a quantitative way, if you did it, with a specific research, we have this study or this report or whatever, and you can just back it up. It's not just made up by you yourself. Oh, I think these people have this problem, and so I solve it like that, and for sure they will like it. But you can prove it somehow, and you go the extra mile. I think that is also a super win.
I would agree, and maybe repeat that if you can go and ask people and do face to face and take the voice, we call it the voice of customer, the VOC, people who you think that they might use. Even sometimes we say, if you have a piece of paper and you draw how your application will look like and put the buttons as you draw them and say to them, this is a good place for the button? And just ask people, say, yeah, this is, if I hold the mobile and I can click here or there, it makes sense. But if it's somewhere down here, it will not like make me feel comfortable. And if it's for babies and you say it's like, will you use this for your baby? Okay. And if people say yes, no, so you're going to validate before even you make one line of code, or even like, build a prototype or 3D printing it. So please, this is like my advice to everybody, that we are living in a world, in an age that you can do a lot that is not here 10 years, 20 years, 100 years ago. You can try, you can experiment, you can fail fast. Okay, if things don't work, change it, pivot, as what you said, Sabrina. Go to the extra mile. You have to do more than sitting in front of your laptop talking to the people that you know from outside the hackathon, and you bring them as your team in the hackathon. This is not going to make you develop. You have to train yourself to go to the extra mile.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we went through everything that we wanted to share. So maybe just a question to all of you here. Are there any additional questions?
Yes, excuse me. I have to leave soon. There is an issue regarding the copyright. Some of the hackathon organizer or the owners put a lot of emphasis on the copyright of even the idea. They will copyright the idea. If you come to the hackathon, bring a new idea, they will copyright it to them. What is the best practice for this behavior or this practice?
Normally, what we do is when they join the hackathon, there's the terms and conditions. Some hackathons will say we own it and you don't own it. And some hackathons will say, no, we don't own it. It's always to the founders, the startups, that they own the idea. And some hackathons will say, look, we don't own it, it's yours. However, if you get to the next step, can we have a piece of the cake if you are allowing us? Okay. So it's always depends on, yes, the terms and conditions, who own it, and if you agree to give them that ownership or not. I don't like when an organizer or like an entity that organizes a hackathon said, whatever you do, it's ours. Even if it's the idea that you are working on it for 10 years, then you like come to the hackathon and you don't win, and then they say it's ours. So I don't agree with that. But in the good scenarios, the good faith, most of the hackathon, they say, no, we don't own it. Some hackathons say, yes, we own it, but most of hackathons, no, it's not for it's for the co-founders, the team that built it.
Of how do they evaluate? How do they evaluate their projects? So sometimes they expected something and they get something else.
Gotcha.
So is it common to tell the attendees this is the way we will do the evaluation of their projects, or this is to be hidden?
No, it should be open. So first of all, what is the hackathon about? This should be clear. The topics, the timing, how to build teams, what is allowed. And then also it's about the criteria for the judges. So when you pitch, you need to be clear about what are the criteria for the judges to evaluate the projects. So this should be all transparent. At least we make it transparent, and we did it last time. And I also experienced that in other hackathons in Germany and Europe. So this is, but it needs to be clear. It needs to be transparent, because if, for example, the criteria is that I create a specific code with a specific tool, then and I don't know about it, and I'm not doing it, then it's difficult to win, you know? So these criteria need to be very clear. I don't know. Does that answer your question, or this this
yeah, yes.
topic?
And sometimes the people behind hackathons have hidden agenda. I guess I'm not sure of that because I was not get inside their brains or their kitchen. Maybe they want something to please whomever, I don't know, or they want something that benefit of their business, if they have business behind the hackathon. So it is not always clear of what actually they want and how to proceed with the attendees proceed with their applications or the hackathon or the results.
Yes, I would agree. And this is one of the things that we will talk about as we go through it. Okay.
Well, maybe let me just add 2 sentences regarding the hidden agenda. So usually hackathons are
Okay.
done for a reason. When it's about, because we are in Web3, when there are protocols, they want people to build on their protocols, on their platform. And that's not only in Web3, but in general. So if there's a technical solution, they want to have people build on their solution. And this is why they have hackathons, they give their tech stack, they give their mentors, etc. So this is very obvious. And then there are also companies, they want fresh ideas, they want they want new talents, they want people, also kind of create a good brand for themselves, because also hackathons is something innovative. And for us, it's to just build community, to bring to help. It helps us to bring together people, but not only participants or talents, entrepreneurs, startups, but also people from the ecosystem that we also need. If this is government, if these are experts in specific fields, if these are investors as well. So we want to bring everyone together, show them, what great talents there are. We want to grow the community so that we are, collaborating and growing together.